In the immediate wake of Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel announcing felony charges against the 16 Michigan Republicans who claimed to be the state's slate of presidential electors in the 2020 election, one of those fake electors, Shelby Township Clerk Stan Grott, has been barred from running elections in his township. He'll also be barred from performing voter registration, ordering election supplies, and training election inspectors. Michigan's elections director Jonathan Brader wrote to Grott explaining that the fact that Grott violated Michigan law by attempting to award the electoral votes to Donald Trump rather than the rightful winner, Joe Biden, quote, undermines voter confidence in the integrity of elections. Therefore, in order to ensure public trust and confidence in the integrity and security of elections, I am instructing you to refrain from administering any elections held in Shelby Township while these charges are pending against you. Perhaps unsurprisingly, Grott responded by saying, I'm innocent, I haven't done anything wrong. Who could have possibly guessed that the guy who's currently facing 8 felony charges, all predicated on lying, would go on to lie some more? Grott is one of the 16 fake electors who attempted to cast their electoral votes for Trump in 2020, all of whom have now been charged with 1 count of conspiracy to commit forgery, 2 counts of forgery, 1 count of conspiracy to commit what's known as uttering and publishing, 1 count of uttering and publishing, 1 count of conspiracy to commit election law forgery, and 2 counts of election law forgery. Who could have possibly guessed that hitching your wagon to Trump's would ultimately land you in a courtroom? That's a rhetorical question. The answer is anyone. Anyone could have guessed that hitching your wagon to Trump's would ultimately land you in a courtroom. And granted, while it's objectively good news that someone like Stan Grott won't be able to administer elections in Michigan, the fact that this guy already was administering elections there is a massive red flag. And I hope it's a wake-up call to elections administrators across the country that we desperately need some discretion exercised in terms of who should be allowed to run our elections. Because if a reckless partisan hack like this guy, someone who would break the law to help Donald Trump overturn a free and fair election, if he was able to oversee elections for 80,000 people in his town, just imagine how many people like him there are across the country, and imagine how they could leverage their slavish devotion to Donald Trump to abuse the system for the GOP's benefit. Now, these charges levied by Dana Nessel in Michigan represent the first raft of charges against the fake electors in the country. I should note, though, that Republicans in 7 states that Biden won, including Arizona, Georgia, Nevada, New Mexico, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, in addition to Michigan, had filed paperwork falsely claiming to be their respective states' legitimate electors, which is to say, the charges in Michigan very likely aren't the last. In fact, an inquiry has also emerged in Arizona, where there were similar efforts to overturn the election as the one that we saw in Michigan. Arizona's Democratic Attorney General Chris Mays announced the investigation just last week, signaling more bad news for Donald Trump and his web of crimes. And of course, civil suits have already been filed in Michigan and Wisconsin. I mean, honestly, if you're looking to endure civil and criminal charges, have I got the person for you? The issue of fake electors was also referred to federal prosecutors, and ironically enough, just this week it was revealed that Trump received a target letter in the DOJ's investigation into the events of January 6, of which the fake elector scheme is a major part. We may find out in short order that the fake electors from states across the country are part of criminal conspiracy charges or even racketeering charges levied by the DOJ once an indictment is unsealed, meaning that there's only more bad news on the horizon for Trump. So good on the Michigan Attorney General's office for taking these threats to democracy seriously and for ensuring that people like Stan Grott are nowhere near the administration of our elections in this country. And I hope that Michigan taking action against these people will serve as a wake-up call to other states where fake electors sought to undermine the election to move forward with prosecution, because this is the point at which we either make an example of these people or give them tacit permission to do it again. And given the choice, we should look to Michigan as the model. Before you go, I need some help. Please subscribe to this channel and do your part to help grow the progressive media ecosystem. I don't do sponsorships or paid ads, I won't ask for money, but just subscribing to this channel goes a really long way, and it helps get the message out to more people. The subscribe button is right here on the screen. You can also subscribe to my Spanish language channel, which I made to reach those crucial Spanish-speaking voters. That link is on the screen too. And finally, if you want to listen to my audio podcast, you can follow that link as well. Thanks so much for watching.